Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're continuing with the Divided by Witchcraft and we're going to see what happens. Wednesday the 19th of August 1612. I've been frit a Father Southworth, but that were nought to how frit I were now, as I were pointed to a seat at some boards in the room I were led to, and I sat before the two men I'd seen in the courtroom, but I paid no mind to. They looked learned, and down in black hose and doublés. They wore no lace, no frippery or any kind, and I doubted they'd ever learn to smile. I'm Master Edward Chisnell, J.P. This is Master William Lee, J.P. You may not know it, but Master Lee here is not only a rector in the King's True Church, but a trusted acquaintance of the King, and was previously tutor to the Prince of Wales. Were both appointed by King James to this court, and as much of you lie to us, well, you are lying to your king. Will you place your hand on the king's own Bible and swear to tell the truth here? I so swear, I said, my voice as quiet as an hedgehog sneeze. I put my hand on the book and stared at the man who were tutor to Prince Henry. It were his turn to speak. So, Mistress Sowerbutt, you must tell us the truth, as you have sworn to do. Firstly, I ask you whether you truly witnessed the three you accused of witchcraft killing the child of Thomas Walshman with a nail in the navel, and of boiling, eating, and oiling the child, thereby to transform themselves into diverse shapes. Nay, master, I tried to say, but no words came out. Speak up, child. I flinched at the force of his voice and felt tears pricking my eyes. I blinked them back. I hated weeping. You must speak. His voice grew louder, so I cleared my throat. I were in sore want of a sup of ale, but there were none here. Nay, master, I said at last, I did not witness that, nay. So why did you give sworn evidence that you had witnessed such vile acts? I blinked furiously, but it were working, and the tears ran down my cheeks, and I sobbed. It weren't my fault. The words came out broken, and mixed with strange noises from my throat, but they didn't understand. The man who had spoken first, Chisnell, snapped his fingers at the bailiff, who was stood by the door, and they waited for me to calm myself. A beaker of ale were put before me, and I drank. Tell us what happened, Mistress Sowerbutt, Master Lee said, his dark eyes burning into my soul, and I nodded. Father Southworth has done wrong by me, Aunt Ellen, and Granny. I see that now. I wiped my face with my hands, as the words came out in a mite easier. So Father Southworth is indeed Master Thomas. Aye, master. They're the same man, right enough. Ma sent me to him to learn my prayers. And what from did these lessons take? What did thou learn? Master Lee were asking the question, with Master Chisnell writing down the answers. It were just like being at Holden Hall, though the ale weren't as good. We did learning from the Bible and other books, and he learned me all about witches and witchcrafts. He made me think Granny and Aunt Helen were witches, and thereby made me think Mistress Jane were a witch and all. He made me learn all about eating babbies, dancing with devils, and looking like dogs. And it's been right fearsome, it has, master. I've been so frit. I stopped, gasping for a breath, as Master Lee raised an hand at me. I took a sip of my ale, and my breath slowed and grew regular again. But you did not see any of that, only heard about it from Father Southworth. Aye, master, that's right. He put them pictures in me head, he did, and he made me tell 'em. And what of these fits you, your father, and Master Walshman have spoken of? I looked down at my hands again. Father Southworth made me think them had happened and all. I see. So we're not cast upon any haystack, nor in any hay barn. Nay, master, I weren't. I swallowed some more ale to wet my throat. I went up on the haystack mysen. I didn't want to do my chores. I were hiding from my ma. The man stared at me, without once blinking, and I could feel my cheeks go red. More tears began to fall. Once Chisnell finished writing, they whispered together, then Master Chisnell spoke. We shall now speak with Mistress Southworth and the two mistresses, really, to hear what they have to say about the matters at hand. You shall go back to the courtroom, Mistress Sourbuts, and await the new evidence which we shall present to the judge in due course. I stared at them. Have I done right? You've done much wrong, child. I pray that God can forgive your trespasses. But you must work hard to convince him you are truly repentant. Aye, master, I will that. I nodded my head many times to show him I meant it, and the bailiff took me away again and back to the courtroom. I were right glad to see Stevie Armstrong smile at me, but every bugger else looked away when I sat down. Even Ma turned her head away. And then we moved to August 19th again, on Wednesday, 16:12, but later in that day, of course. Gentlemen of the jury, you have heard us, as I, the convoluted tales of this young girl who's been wickedly misused and influenced by the aforesaid Father Christopher Southworth. It's now your duty to consider all you have heard in the case against Mistress Jane Southworth, Mistress Janet Bealey, and Mistress Ellen Bealey, and to acquit them of all charges. The jury huddled together, and after a short whisper, one stood to declare them all not guilty. Mistress Southworth, Mistress Bealey, you are free to go, and I'm deeply saddened for you all to have endured. I wish you well in the future. Judge Bromley banged his mallet, then carried on talking. I want this bloody butcher, Father Christopher Southworth, found, arrested, and held to account for the crime he has committed, and for the attempt to use this court to commit. I shall not be used by a priest nor any man to commit an injustice, and should dearly like to see him standing before me at that bar at a future assizes. As for you, Grace Sourbuts, I allow you have been used badly, manipulated by a powerful man, and your innocent mind corrupted for evil doing. Let me ask you this. Do you attend the church? No, not by my own will, never. Then I remembered everything had changed. It were Father Southworth's mass that were wrong, not good on his church. But I will, your honour, I promise. I'll go every service, good on his church. The judge smiled at me. Then we have done good work here today, and saved a soul for our God Lord. He looked over at Ma and Pa. I charge your mother and father to regularly attend the parish church with you, and task them to take better care of you, and especial care in choosing the people given the charge of tutorship over you. Also, to take serious and punitive steps to moderate your fights of fancy. I didn't like the sound of that last bit, not at all. He turned his eyes back to me. The occurrence of this day should serve you and us as the most important lesson of life. Mistress Sourbuts, you must never forget what has happened in this courtroom. In fact, I shall make sure you do not forget. He stopped for a bit, thinking. I command you to attend the hangings on Lancaster Moor on the morrow to witness first-hand the consequences your actions may have led to for your family and Mistress Southworth. Never forget, my girl. Never forget. I went ice cold. I'd never seen hanging afore. And for all my big talk with Stevie Armstrong, I didn't want to go now. Although I chilled as he gave me a wicked smile. I'm sure your grandmother aunt will never forget. So why should we allow you to forget? Good Lord above, Granny, give me hell when we get home. And what will the father say? Ruddy hell. What if they arrest him next? What have I to do? All this again. Oh, will they make me speak against him? With him stood there listening, watching me. I curled a lock of hair into my mouth. What should I do? What? And where could I go? I jumped as Stevie took my hand to comfort, I smiled at him. Would he take me somewhere safe? That'd be alright, that would. Getting away from Pendle and all the talk of witches. Oh, and having lots of adventures with Stevie Armstrong. I shuffled closer to him, ignoring Mam's scowl. And that's the end of the complete tale, divided by witchcraft. So yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? And it's the second in the series of the historical fiction short stories, but came from the frenzy of the witch hunting that swept the north of England in the 16th and 17th centuries. Only early 17th, late 16th, mind you. You know, the famous Pendle witches in 1612. So yeah, it's very, very interesting indeed how we come to find the different things that were said and then taken back, and you know how they shifted and changed. You know, it's really interesting actually. Very interesting indeed. Also, another interesting piece of work is the wonderful discovery of witches in the county of Lancaster. That's also very good, but it's not like the one that you know, the witch finder did. It's completely different. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me in this series. I do appreciate it very much, and I hope you have enjoyed these short stories. I know I have. Thanks for listening, guys, and many blessings.